Talofa lava, kia ora na koutou katoa. Welcome to Tangata Pasifika.
Malo Elele. On the show today, has the 2015 budget delivered for our people?
I would say that this government has failed. They have failed because they promised us a budget surplus. They have failed because for 7 years they have not delivered a budget surplus.
And underwater hockey is a tough game, but Niue and Portia Munguo thrives on it.
I think it brings out like that aggressive side in the game. I've had a few black eyes, like I've got like a scar at the top of my left eyebrow from a puck hitting me.
And Richard Pamatatau joins us in this week's Talanoa about the budget. But first, here's Sainafulava Sanele Chadwick with Pacific News.
Thanks, Mama. Thank you, Tom. Well, as with every government budget announcement, there are winners and there are losers. The winners this year are beneficiaries, with families with children getting another $25 a week. Working for families payments will also increase for middle and low income families from $12.50 per week. The losers, however, are those who haven't yet joined KiwiSaver, as the government announced it's putting an immediate end to the $1,000 kickstart payment for new members. Also, if you're travelling to and from New Zealand, you'll be stung with a levy designed to help boost biosecurity funding by $100 million a year. However, Mangere Budgeting Services Chief Executive Officer Daryl Evans says while the budget looks good on paper, it doesn't do anything specifically to address the rental crisis for families in Auckland, and it may now drive Pacific families out of Auckland.
They will either get pushed out and then have to migrate further south, or traditionally what our Pacifica families do is they bring more family in. So they overcrowd the house, they move people into the garage.
And we'll have more information on this week's budget announcement and what it means for our communities later in the show. In Tonga this week, protesters took to the streets of Nuku'alofa to voice their concerns about the government's move to endorse women's rights in the kingdom. Tonga's government is hoping to sign the United Nations Convention known as CEDAW to eliminate all forms of discrimination against women. However, church leaders fear this will go against Tonga's Christian values by allowing same-sex marriage and abortion.
Ka kohono fungani, ko tau ofa he kahau, he lolo tongani mo kahau, e tau whanau, mo nau whanau, mo tau ngahi mo puna.
A petition has been presented to Parliament and King Tupou VI is yet to ratify the convention. More than a third of all students graduating this month at the Manukau Institute of Technology are of Pacific descent. A large percentage, 334 graduates, now hold qualifications in business, followed by nursing, education and social sciences. Two of the Pacific graduates are a mother and daughter who both completed a Bachelor of Nursing Pacific.
The beginning for me was quite challenging because I left school like ages ago. But studying with my daughter Mirala here was quite fun as well for me.
We studied together, we learnt together and we made it through together.
Yeah. You never know what you're going to learn and what you can achieve until you try it.
Manukau Institute of Technology claims to have the highest number of Pacifica students in the country. Tautua nei moso manuia tai ao, serve now for a better tomorrow. That's the theme for this year's Samoa Language Week. Samoan is the third most spoken language in New Zealand, but latest census results reveal the number of fluent speakers has dropped by 10% since the last census. Victoria University's Director of Samoan Studies, Tamasailau Sua'ali Isauni, says the language is important for the future of Samoan communities in New Zealand.
If you're going to go and say that I offer a culturally appropriate service, right, to Samoan people, you need to be able to understand the language they speak. Yeah? You can't serve them without being able to communicate with them.
Samoa Language Week begins tomorrow and runs until Saturday. Well, thousands of New Zealanders are choosing to go without food this weekend. I'm not one of them, by the way, in a bid to raise money for children living in poverty. It's all part of the 40-hour famine challenge, which began last night. Participants are asked to go without food for 40 hours and collect donations at the completion of their challenge. One of this year's participants is 40-hour famine faith ambassador and YouTube sensation Emily Muli, who's found the challenge difficult because of her family's love for food.
It's hard because there's always food around. I remember doing it last year, and there was my family were just eating in front of me, and I was like, bro, like hello, like, you know, I'm sitting right here. But it doesn't matter, it's only a weekend, and you can go a weekend without food. Like if I can do it, you can do it too.
More than $74 million has been raised since the 40-hour famine began in 1975 and will finish tomorrow at midday. To sport now, and former England rugby international Ben Cohen says if it was up to him, disgraced midfielder Manu Tuilangi would be banned from England selection for good. Cohen made the comments to The Telegraph and says unless Tuilangi changes his attitude, he should be banned from future selection. Tuilangi admitted assaulting 2 female police officers and was fined more than $12,000. He's banned from England selection until January, meaning he will miss this year's Rugby World Cup. Fiji have been crowned World Series Sevens champions after beating South Africa in the London Sevens quarterfinals this week. Despite not making the final, Fiji secured enough overall points to become winners with a grand total of 164 points, 10 points clear of second-placed South Africa. It's the first time Fiji have won a World Series since 2006. Last week we reported the superannuation rules for Cook Islands, Niue and Tokelau residents were being changed, and that residents there no longer needed to live in New Zealand for 5 years after turning 50 to be eligible. This is incorrect. The legislation is proposing a change that will mean residents of those islands no longer have to be in New Zealand to apply for superannuation. The eligibility criteria remains the same. And that's your Pacific News for this week. Back to you, Marama and Tom.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Angeli. And don't forget the Vodafone Pacific Music Awards are coming up on Saturday, the 13th of June. Tickets are available now. Just go to the website below.
Well, do join us after the break when we take a closer look at the budget in our Talanoa with Richard Pamatatau.
It feels like give and take, but it feels like actually give a little, take a lot.